am the chair for the Legislative and Economic Development Committee for the Pittsburgh North Regional Chamber. Today, as part of our Workforce Development Video project, I am interviewing Mark Gordon, the board chairman for the Butler County Growth Collaborative, to learn more about workforce development from a regional perspective. Welcome, Mark. Thank you for being here.
Good morning, Kathleen, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
So can you tell us, would you please tell us a little more about the Butler County Growth Collaborative?
Well, the Growth Collaborative came about approximately 7 years ago. And the mission, vision, and purpose, if I had to sum it in one clear and concise statement, is to make Butler County the premier place for somebody to come live, come work, and a place to come and enjoy life. And that has been the mission and purpose in those last 7 years. You know, we do that through a comprehensive approach that focuses on the elements of what makes a community, such as hospitality, transportation, education, housing, healthcare, infrastructure, the environment, and employment. And to that end, our Growth Collaborative steering board is made up of myself representing the county, the Tourism and Convention Bureau of Butler County, the Chamber of Commerce, the Vocational and Technical School here in the county, the Housing and Redevelopment Authority, the Community College, the Transit Authority, the Community Development Corporation, the Tri-County Workforce Investment Board, Cranberry Township, and the Butler Health Systems, now part of Excella.
Okay. Well, that is a lot of organizations collaborating together. That's great to see that, working together for that. So what programs have you implemented to retain current workers or attract new workers to the region?
Well, let's talk about retention strategies, okay? And I guess I would focus on a couple of things there.
Okay.
We have very active industry partnerships. For example, we have a manufacturing consortium.
Okay.
If you think about manufacturing, that is one of the mainstays in Butler County.
Okay.
More manufacturers than any other county in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. Didn't know that.
You know, strong work ethic of people here, people of integrity, people that give 150%.
Okay.
And that works well in a manufacturing environment. It works well in all environments. You know, a little more in the news of late, especially the last several years, relative coming through COVID and out of COVID, you know, we have a healthcare consortium.
Okay.
And then bringing those individuals together, worried about focusing attention on the health of the community.
Okay.
And we can talk more about that when you think about businesses at large. Our healthcare system coming through COVID, our chief medical officer out of the health system worked with our municipalities, worked with our businesses, worked with our school districts to help them understand, implement safe practices and procedures, and how to effectively run their businesses and provide the level of protection necessary and still be able to, you know, to have employment opportunities for people. There is a young professionals consortium that we have throughout the county, engaging 20-something, 30-something individuals to allow for networking with them. So that's really the industry side of it. If you think about, there's a whole educational partnership that occurs too.
Mhm.
And that educational piece starts down in the intermediate levels of the school, where we have programs introducing young students, sixth and seventh graders, to various types of businesses, industry, and profession by taking groups of them into those environments, having individuals that have their profession in their environment into the classroom and engaging them. It gets a little more intensive as you move to the high school or maybe with the vocational school. But we have a host of secondary, post-secondary institutions like the community college, Slippery Rock University, and we have extensive trade union education here. So those are the ways that we try to retain people here, upgrading their skills, allowing them to make sure that they find their piece in the environment that's here that they can provide for themselves and their family. From an attraction standpoint, one of the things we're really proud of is we have a vibrant community. Our communities are extremely vibrant. Just recently in 2023, Cranberry Township was identified as the safest municipality in the entire Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
In addition to being the safest in the Commonwealth, they were ranked number 8 in communities in the United States. Our southern tier of the county continues to be one of the most active in growth
Mhm.
in the Commonwealth, but also in the United States.
Yeah.
If you look at the decennial census that occurred in 2020, Butler County, largely driven by the southern tier, was the only county in western Pennsylvania that had any appreciable growth.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we continue to have appreciable growth year over year over year. You know, speaking of attracting people, we have an active speaker series where we invite individuals from within our community, in our businesses, and outside our businesses and communities to engage with people in our community. We do that through a variety of organizations, the Chamber of Commerce being a large one, the Tourism and Convention Bureau being another portion of them, the industry programs as the manufacturing consortium also being part of it. Another attraction is our internship programs. We provide job shadowing, we provide youth development. Our whole workforce investment board, of which I have the opportunity to sit on that executive board, is really focused on bringing to bear services out of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and making sure they are appropriately deployed here in our region. And not just deployed, but making sure that the services are usable, they are focused at engagement, making certain that they're easily accessible, and they're widely advertised. So whether that's through the Career Link or any of the other investment boards. Lastly, there's attention to affordable housing.
Mhm.
Because let's face it, if you want to bring somebody here, they have to have the whole package. It has to be the entire quality of life.
Mhm.
It has to be excellent health care,
Mhm.
has to be transportation,
Mhm.
there has to be affordable housing, there have to be a number of amenities. And, there's not a wanting for amenities in Butler County, from beautiful parks and recreation facilities to 20 to 30 minutes from the southern tier to the city of Pittsburgh, professional sports, to the partnership with the Pittsburgh Penguins in our own Butler County with the Lemieux Center.
Yeah.
So a lot of focus on making this an attractive and a desirable place to live, work, and play.
Yeah, definitely. I've been astonished. My mom moved here, like at the early 2000s, and I'm astonished at the amount of growth in Cranberry Township and that has grown in that time when I come, when I visit her and see all that going on. It's amazing. And you guys have really done so much for the community, see so much for the community growing and just becoming such an important fixture in the greater Pittsburgh area.
One of the pieces of that too, I guess I should have maybe mentioned, it's really the people.
Yeah.
In my professional career, I moved 9 times.
Oh, my goodness.
7 domestic and 2 international.
Yeah.
The city of Butler, we had a major business here in Butler County. And I have to tell you, the workforce that was here, and I was blessed to be involved with good workforces in all the locations where I was at. But the workforce in our facility in Butler, several thousand people, was exceptional. And really was the driving factor in consideration for me when I retired to say, how can I utilize my talents and how can I utilize my skills to better influence and give back to this community already has such wonderful people.
Yeah.
And it's largely why I do what I do.
Yeah, well, that's great. So being this, if we bring a lot of people, we also need probably a lot more businesses for them to service them, for people to work. So what programs or projects are you using to attract new businesses to the region?
Well, I can talk to you about the classical things, industrial parks, right? And we have a lot of brownfield development. And we're doing that throughout the landscape of the county. We're doing some additional development up in the far north of the county, right along Interstate 80, which is a significant transportation corridor. And we have an industrial park up there that we are doing some work at right now. And we have an additional 80 acres that will be opening up for additional development. But, I thought it might be a little more interesting and a little more unique to talk about really at the foundation of what we do. And that is driving infrastructure.
Yes.
Businesses are never going to relocate to an area if it doesn't have the fundamental infrastructure in place.
Yeah.
So when I say infrastructure, what do I mean? Yes, roads, bridges, water, wastewater and sewage, stormwater control, broadband. And we have active projects. In fact, right now, over the last couple years, we are engaging approximately $380 million of infrastructure-related projects in Butler County.
Yeah. Wow.
And making a huge difference.
Yeah.
Makes a huge difference. Ease of getting around, ease of moving material and supplies. An interesting statistic, at the southernmost point of the county, where Butler County comes together with Allegheny County and comes together with Beaver County, at least at that point in the southern tier, where I-79, State Route 19, State Route 228, and the Pennsylvania Turnpike, Interstate 76,
Mhm.
all come together in Cranberry Township at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Do you know, following DOT guidelines for transportation, you can reach 52% of the US population from that location in
Oh,
a 1 day, in a 1 day move.
oh, no, that's interesting. No, I had no idea. Interesting.
Hence why there are so many
Yeah.
manufacturers,
Yes.
right? So yeah,
Yeah.
that's really our focus um, on
Okay.
on bringing people here.
Okay. So what educational resources are you supporting to qualify people to meet the needs of the employers in the region?
Well, we have, I already talked about the fact that we have great relationships at the table
Yeah.
with Slippery Rock University, with the community college, the trade unions, and the like. Those strong programs in workforce development. We do innovative things. The workforce development initiative out of the college, for example, is actually tailored to a business and responds to a need.
Okay.
So one recent example, healthcare. Healthcare has had a lot of challenges.
Yeah. Mhm.
Well, in response to some of those challenges, the community college just opened a new Schaefer School of Nursing and Allied Health.
Okay.
They have affiliated programs with the healthcare system here in Butler Health System, with the entities like Concordia that do, more managed care for aging adults. They put people through degree programs. When you train at the community college, you actually have a physical working patient room that's identical to the patient room in a hospital,
Okay.
an operating room identical to a hospital operating room. They have structured their education to be extremely lifelike.
Yeah.
Healthcare is one of them. Slippery Rock has a very unique spot in industrial hygiene and safety and health.
Okay.
And it's one of the finest programs in the nation. And a lot of our manufacturers find resources for safety engineers and industrial hygiene people right from Slippery Rock University. While I'm talking about Slippery Rock, they also have a strong hospitality program.
Yeah.
And engage people in hoteliers, restaurant, entrepreneur opportunities. And again, they all have active internship programs and the like. Well, it's not just a university and it's not just a college. There's a lot of technology training
Mhm.
that goes on. And that technology training, for example, the steam fitters have built their facility in Butler County right along I-79
Yeah.
to do all training in the entire western portion of Pennsylvania. So that is from State College
Mhm.
west,
Okay.
from Erie to Greene County south. It is a state-of-the-art facility. It's immaculate. Wonderful career opportunities.
Yeah.
Um, a new initiative right now that the county has been engaged in funding. When you look at municipal services, emergency management services is at a crisis point across our nation.
Mm.
There's not enough people going into it. In conjunction with the college, we have active programs where we are paying individuals to attend the EMS training and certification programs.
Mhm.
In return, they have an opportunity to sign on with a company. Education is paid for. They earn wages while they're training.
Okay. Good.
Then they have a commitment for a year, and then beyond they can move if they like. But it's a great response to how we're dealing with that crisis. And quite frankly, I think there's a lot of things that Butler County is seen as a model for, and that is one that's emerging that appears that will be a model. You know, apprenticeship programs.
Yeah.
Some of the businesses, the manufacturers have their own accredited apprenticeship programs. Some of them have programs in conjunction with the college, and some have them in conjunction with the trade union.
Mhm.
So a collaboration of ways to bring those skills and certifications to our workers. And then there's a host of ongoing continuing ed type initiatives. Again, whether it's through the chambers, whether it's through various professional societies and the like.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like all the entities that are part of the collaborative are really bringing innovative solutions to Butler County to work with the education and to serve these workforce development issues. It's interesting to hear. I was not aware of a lot of this stuff, so thank you for sharing all that with us. So the last question I have for you is, what are some programs or projects you're using to support that maybe will remove some barriers that people from wanting to join the workforce? Because we keep hearing that there's transportation barriers and childcare barriers and as and such.
So I'll start by saying the most recent statistic in Butler County is an unemployment rate of 2.4%,
Okay.
the lowest in the Commonwealth.
Yes.
We continue to be the lowest in the
Mhm.
Commonwealth month after month. That doesn't just happen by accident.
No.
And yes, we have people moving in, but there's a group of individuals that I'll say that historically have maybe been left out of the employment equation. And that's individuals with maybe some barriers.
Mhm.
Those barriers could have been educational skills.
Mhm.
Barriers could have been some addictive things in their
Yeah.
past, drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
Some of those barriers could have been incarceration.
Mhm.
We developed a program here. Actually, we purchased a program and further refined it on our own called Empowerment.
Yeah.
The Empowerment Initiative is run out of the college.
Mhm.
It is done throughout the entire landscape of the county.
Okay.
And it's an opportunity to provide emotional intelligence,
Mhm.
critical skills and training necessary for somebody to be able to really excel in a workplace.
Mhm.
Yes, there's a whole skills component
Yeah.
to get them up to speed to meet those kind of requirements. But this focuses largely on how do you become part of a workforce team?
Yeah.
How do you work together? How do you communicate? How do you recognize and appreciate the differences in others, whether it's a difference of thought
Mhm.
or whether it's a difference in how we look? You know, in the past year, we put 181 people through that program. We have an amazing individual that heads up that program. Her name is Trisha Pritchard. And
Yeah.
I first met Tricia many, many years ago when she was an adjunct professor at a number of the local universities, from Grove City to the college to the university, to some of the universities in the city of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And in fact, I've been invited to be a guest speaker a couple of times with some of her programs. Her students, whether they were young or old, nicknamed her Professor Poppins. And she probably is one of the most engaging individuals that I have ever had the pleasure to be around.
Yes, and I would like to refer to our chamber membership. We interviewed Tricia earlier this year regarding the empowerment program, and so refer back to that video. Thank you. Okay, go ahead, Mark.
Well, so not only is the program strong,
Yes,
is that it has exceptional content,
yes, it does.
but it has an individual at the helm that actually cares.
Yes.
You know what? One way I would motivate individuals at AK Steel is, and it would force me to be out on the plant floor, is we developed a hard hat sticker that said, one person can make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
But the only way someone could get that sticker is if their department manager or the like recommended them and wrote a little narrative about why their performance was exceptional. But even when they did that, they wouldn't get that until I came down and gave them that sticker and congratulated them. Okay. You know, if I had that sticker today,
Mm-hmm.
Tricia Pritchard would get that sticker for one person. Definitely makes a
Yes.
difference.
Yes, she does.
You know, beyond empowerment, there's a couple other programs. There's the young adult reentry program that's focused on younger adults that, you know, our society is so different today. There's so many children being raised almost on their own.
Mm.
And this young adult reentry, I think, is a way of dealing with that for some of those individuals that experienced that difficulty in their life. We have a Hope is Dope program that also is a support system for individuals that have been involved in addictive drug, you know, drug issues. You know, there's another part to bringing people hero and removing barriers. You know, we're working with a nonprofit agency, and they're called Hope Center Mission,
Okay.
Hope Center Ministries, excuse me. And this nonprofit works with immigrants. You know, if you come into Butler County, you will see welcome signs
Mm-hmm.
in 12 different languages. We have a beautiful Hindu temple that recently was built. We have programs going on all the time throughout the landscape of the county. English as a second language.
Mm-hmm.
And those programs, we probably have 20 of those running right now. And they're full.
Mm.
The idea here being is we are an inviting community. And, you know, people want a new start, there's an opportunity for that.
Yeah.
And I think when you package all that together, I think we're kind of special.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. That's a lot of information for our members about the Growth Collaborative. How can our members, if they want to learn more about any one of the projects you talked about or learn more about the Butler Growth Collaborative, how can they reach out and connect with you?
Well, one way, pretty easy. My email is mgordon@co period Butler, Butler, period, PA, period, US.
Okay.
The other easy way is, I have an office in the government center
Okay.
in the city of Butler. And you can stop in there. Um, if I'm not there, Sherry Scholes is my admin,
Wonderful.
and she can help you. She can make sure that I get your message.
Mhm.
And lastly, if the easiest way is to call, 724-284-5300. And by the way, if you see me out in the community, hey, say hi. Come up and introduce yourself. That's how, ultimately the reality of it is we have to meet people where they're at.
Yes,
So
yes.
thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you so much for all this information. And I'd like to thank the Pittsburgh North Regional Chamber for giving us this opportunity to educate our membership. Goodbye.